Hello everyone, myself is Falmari. In the last video we have discussed working rule of simplex method for optimizing a linear programming problem. Now in this video we will consider one example. Learning outcome: at the end of this session, students will be able to find the solution of linear programming problem. Let us consider this example. Use the simplex method to solve the linear programming problem. Maximize z is equal to 3x1 plus 5x2 plus 4x3 subject to the linear constraints. These are the three linear constraints are given, and x1, x2, x3 are non-negative. Solution: step number 1 is writing the given linear programming problem in standard form. Now the first point of standard form is writing the objective function in maximization type, which is already there. We can copy it as it is. And second point is writing all the inequality constraint into equality constraints by adding the slack variables in the left hand side, and at the same time the right sides are must be positive. Here we can see that all the right sides are positive. Simply we have to add the slack variables in the left hand side to establish the equality between them. Let us choose the S1, S2, S3, the slack variables, and adding them in each inequality constraint, we get such a system of equality constraints and call it as equation number 1. In the equation number 1, x3 is absent, therefore here we have written it as 0 into x3, and in the equation number 2, x1 is absent, therefore we have written it as 0 into x1. At the same time of adding slack variables, we have to include them in the objective function with a 0 coefficient, and all the variables are must be non-negative. Now the step number 2 is finding initial basic feasible solution, and we know that it is obtained by putting x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0, x3 equal to 0 in the equality constants in the left hand side, and obtaining the values of s1, s2, s3 as the right hand sides, which is we have obtained s1 equal to 8, s2 equal to 10, s3 equal to 15. Now in this case, s1, s2, s3 are called the basic variables, and x1, x2, x3 are called non-basic variables. Now the step number 3 is writing the initial simplex table. This is the initial simplex table. We know that the first column is of the basic variables, and just we have obtained the slack variables s1, s2, s3 as the basic variable. Second column is of the coefficients of these basic variables and in the objective function, and we know that as these are the slack variables, its coefficient is always 0. And third column is of the values of the slack variables in the basic solution. Just we have obtained the value of s1 as 8, value of s2 as 10, and value of s3 as 15. Now this first row is of the coefficients of all the variables in the objective function. We can see that x1 has the coefficient 3, x2 5, x3 4, and all the slack variables have the coefficient 0. Okay. Now next, these three rows are obtained due to the three equality constraints coefficients. From the first one we can see that in the first equation in the left hand side, x1 has the coefficient 2, x2 3, x3 0, s1 1, and s2 s3 are absent. We can write their coefficient 0. The same thing we did here. Similarly, second row is obtained from the coefficients of second equation from the left hand side, and third row is obtained from the left hand side of coefficients from third equation. So this is what the initial simplex table. Now we have to calculate z, which is defined as the sum of the product of the two columns, coefficient column and the solution column. Now taking the product and the sum, 0 into 8 plus 0 into 10 plus 0 into 15, that is 0 plus 0 plus 0, that is what, 0. So every time in the initial simplex table we have the value of z as 0 due to the presence of 0 everywhere here. Now next, calculating zj, again it is defined as the sum of the product of the CB column and these xis and sis columns. As all these entries are 0, so obviously when we take the position wise product and the addition, we must have each and every entry 0 here. Now calculating the net evaluation delta j, which is nothing but the subtraction of the coefficient and this zj, that is 3 minus 0 is 3, 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 0 is 4, 0 minus 0 is 0 everywhere. Now we have to test the optimality, which is the step number 3. That optimality is if all the entries in the delta j row are negative or 0, then this is the required optimal solution for our given linear programming problem. If this row contains at least one positive entry, then the current feasible solution is not optimal. Here we can see that not only one, there are 3 positive entries. So therefore, this is not the optimal solution. Okay. Now we have to move to the step number 4. Step number 4 is finding the incoming variable and the outgoing variable. First of all, we will find the incoming variable. The incoming variable is decided by finding the largest positive number present in the delta 0. Here we can see that this 5 is the largest positive entry. Therefore, the column associated to this fifth entry is called the key column, and the variable associated to this column is x2. Therefore, this x2 is our incoming variable. It means this x2 will enter somewhere here. Okay, x2 will take the position of s1 or s2 or s3. To decide this, we have to move to point number 2, that is to check outgoing variable. To check the outgoing variable, we have to calculate one ratio. That ratio is minimum ratio called xb column divided by key column. This is the key column and this is the xb column. Now taking the division of these two columns, we get the entry here 8 by 3, 5, 15 by 2. Now the name is itself minimum ratio. We want the minimum quantity from this. We can check that this 8 by 3 is the minimum one. Therefore, this row is called the key row and the variable associated to this row is S1. It means this S1 is the outgoing variable and X2 is the incoming variable. Okay. Now the intersecting entry of the key row and key column is this entry 3. Therefore, we can draw a circle around it. Okay. Now the next step is that we have to convert this 3 to 1 and remaining elements lying below this 3 to 0 by performing the row operations. Okay. Now this is what just we have discussed, that x2 is the incoming variable and s1 will be the outgoing variable. Now to convert it, this entry to 1, we divide this row by 3. That is what here we have written, r1 changes to r1 divided by 3. And then to make these two entries 0, we have to perform the operation r2 changes to r2 minus 2 by 3 r1 and r3 changes to r3 minus 2 by 3 r1. And this operation we have to perform only in this yellow shaded region. Okay, when we perform these 3 operations, we get this new system. Okay, so once we get this new system, then we have to calculate again this zj entry. The zj is defined as the sum of the product of this cb column and this xis and sis column. Now this entry is calculated by taking the product of these two columns. Now this is 5 into 2 by 3 is 10 by 3 plus remaining two entries are 0. Therefore, there is no need to take the product. Therefore, this entry is 10 by 3. Again, taking the product of the CB column and the XT column, we get it as 5. Taking the next product, we get it as 0. Taking the next product, we get it as 5 by 3. And next entries are 0, 0. Now, calculating delta J, that is the subtraction of this coefficient and Zj entry. Now, this 3 minus 10 by 3 is minus 1 by 3. 5 minus 5 is 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. 0 minus 5 by 3 is minus 5 by 3, 0 minus 0 is 0 and 0 minus 0 is 0. Again we can calculate here Z, which is the sum of the CB column and the XB column, and which is nothing but 5 into 8 by 3 is 40 by 3. These two entries are 0, therefore we can write 0 plus 0, which is nothing but 40 by 3. Now we have to test the optimality. Now here we can check that one entry is present which is positive. So obviously as one entry is present, it will be the maximum one. Therefore, the variable corresponding to this column, which is x3, will be the incoming variable, and this column is called key column. Now we will calculate the minimum ratio to find out the outgoing variable, that is dividing xb column by this x3 column. As this entry is 0, we can write dash here. If in key column 0 or negative entry is present, so minimum ratio we have to write it as a dash. Now dividing this entry by 5, we get it as a 14 by 15, and dividing this entry by 4, we get it as 29 by 12. Now from these two entries we have to take the minimum one. So obviously we can see that this 14 by 15 is the minimum one. So the row associated to is called the key row, and the intersection of key row and key column is this entry 5. We can draw a circle around it, which is called the key element. Now we have to convert this entry to 1 and the remaining entries in the column to 0. But already it is 0 here, only we have to convert it to 0. This discussion just we have did. Now to convert key element to unity, we have to perform this transformation R2 changes to R2 divided by 5, and to convert the element lying below key element to 0, we have to perform the transformation R3 changes to R3 minus 4 by 5 R2. When we perform this transformation, we get this new body matrix. Now we have to calculate Z, which is the sum of CB column and the XP column. Now that is the taking the sum and the product of this quantity, these two columns position wise. That is 5 into 8 by 3 is 40 by 3 plus 4 into 14 by 15 is 56 by 15 plus 0 into this quantity is 0. Adding them, we get it as 256 upon 15. Now calculating ZJ entry, that is what the sum of the product of CB column and these excise columns. We get these entries. Once we get ZJ row, now we have to perform the subtraction of CJ row and this ZJ row to get delta J row. After performing the subtraction of 3 minus 34 upon 15, we get it as 11 upon 15, and 5 minus 5 as 0, 4 minus 4 as 0, 0 minus 17 upon 15 is minus 17 upon 15, 0 minus 4 by 5 is minus 4 by 5, 0 minus 0 is 0. Now here we can see that again one more positive entry is present. Therefore, this column will act as a key column, and the variable corresponding to this entry is x1. So therefore this x1 will be the incoming variable. To find out the outgoing variable, we have to divide this xb column by this x1 column. Then we get the minimum ratios like 16. As this is a negative entry, we can write here dash, and next is 89 upon 41. The minimum quantity of these two is 89 upon 41. Therefore, this S3 will be the outgoing variable and this X1 will be the incoming variable. And this 41 upon 15 will be the key element. This is the discussion already we have did. Now we have to perform these three transformations to convert this element to 1 and these two remaining elements to 0. When we perform these three operations, we get this new system, and after calculating this Z and delta J, here we can see that all the entries are 0 or negative. Therefore, the meaning is optimal solution is obtained, and that optimal solution is the value of x1 is 89 upon 41, x2 is 50 upon 41, and x3 is 62 upon 41, and the maximum value of Z is 765 upon 41. That is what here is written.